I might have even mentioned that then. Okay.
Okay. Hey, hello everybody. Welcome to series 2 of Project Body Confident. I'm here with lovely Maggie. It's been so long we've done this one.
So long. I mean, like, really long.
Yeah, we were just chatting about this, guys. I think the last time we did I'm just sorting out my mic, so sorry. Last time we did one, I think was no, it was middle of COVID, wasn't it? Middle of the height of lockdown. I reckon like May, June time. I'll have to have a look back through, but yeah, it's definitely been a while.
A very long while.
Yeah, but we're kicking off series 2 with a subject of joyful exercise. And we've got some fantastic guests coming up talking about why exercise isn't just for burning calories. Big point right there. But first of all, let's catch up with you, Maggie. What's going on? I can see you in your lovely studio.
I am.
You have a mission on your wall, don't you?
Oh, I have the most beautiful woman on my wall. She's gorgeous. She is everything described around her. Words such as nourished, positive, valued, mindful, joyful, loud, happy, brave, warrior, courageous. I mean,
that's amazing.
All these words surround her. She is either all of those things, one of those things, some of those things. Some days she might feel like she wants to be none of those things, but yeah, she is being her, and she represents every woman and man, to be fair, as well, who comes into our studio and trains, you know, because it's something that's fun and fantastic and amazing to do and makes you feel so good, makes you feel confident as well.
That's amazing. So tell us what's been happening with you then, lovely. I think it was after skipping or before skipping? I can't remember, but I think quite a lot's happened. So how's things been? How was lockdown? How are you now?
Oh, interesting, because you mentioned the skipping, and that really is what lockdown turned into for me, which was a bit funny. So some of you might know, some of you might not, but basically we, Ellie, Hannah, did a challenge in May to skip every day of May and to do 5,000 jumps of that rope every day in May. That was 31 days of skipping. I think about 2 days into it, you might have regretted actually saying, I'll join you in this, Maggie.
Do you know what? I don't think I ever regretted it. And I actually thought that my ankle wasn't going to hold up as much, to be fair. But I actually really enjoyed it, and it gave me a really, really good focus. I think I felt that. I took a lot from it, like just going, okay, I've got to do this. It's like I follow a program and I've got goals and things like that to do, but it was different to that. So it wasn't like I've got to do this because it's on my program. It was more of a determination to go, right, I've said I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it. And it gave me quite a bit, and it's quite a lot of sense of achievement, I suppose.
Yes. I felt that with her. And it's really the word determination, because actually, like, 31 days continuously just jumping, just aiming for this set number, it was challenging some days. You know, some days you wake up and you go, and it's probably important to know as well, so I injured my foot on the second day of doing this, in terms of it was swollen and rather painful even to walk on. I actually stopped walking sort of any great distance. That means anything further than 100 meters around the house for a couple of weeks to try and inverted commas rest it, which sounds ridiculous when you think I was also doing 5,000 jumps at the time, but something had to give, and it wasn't going to be the skipping because that was for charity. We did that for the National Emergencies Trust, which was helping people by giving out funding across the country for groups and individuals that were sort of suffering as a result of COVID and the restrictions that have been brought in. So it felt really important that the skipping had to continue. So I started cutting other things out. I
love that. So what's not important right now? Oh, the skipping is, but walking anywhere other than my house is definitely not.
Right. no problem. I'm only allowed out once a day anyway, so it's all right.
I love that.
And actually, that was the most wonderful thing about the skipping was the thought of doing the skipping came about because it's something you can do in your backyard. It's something I hadn't done since I was a kid. And I knew when I was trying to think of a challenge that anything fitness related had to be something that people didn't expect me to do, because I can't really, in all good conscience, ask people to sponsor me for me to like run every day, because I would easily and happily run every day. That's not a thing. It's not something that was a challenge. So I felt like it had to be a challenge. So skipping was a challenge because I haven't really done it since primary school. And a challenge because 5,000 was actually a lot, turns out. And then a greater challenge because I injured my foot. However, it seemed to mend itself by the end. So, obviously skipping was good for it. So it was interesting because it gave me, I think you used the word focus, but I felt like it gave me a focus. And as it went on, I found that determination actually was required almost less and less, because I really started to enjoy it. I started to find it, as it became easier, it became something that was so mindful, something that I did and only did thinking of jumping over that rope. I wasn't thinking of all the other million things I needed to do that day. I just thought about jumping over the rope. Yeah. And the more I enjoyed it, the more I started looking around the world of skipping, or jump rope as it's called as a sport, because it's a sport. It's an actual sport, jump rope.
Actual sport.
Actual sport. There's a hashtag called jump rope is a sport, because it's questioned that much. Jump rope is a sport. Yes, it's a sport. And I discovered it as a sport. I tell you what, oh my word. It's amazing the stuff that these athletes do. I mean, it's a little different depending on where you look, but you look at the guys who do freestyle jump rope competitions in America, and they're literally doing acrobatics over this rope alongside of the tricks and wraps and releases. I mean, I use all these words and I didn't even know what they meant when I first started doing this, but you look at Europe and it's all kind of a real manipulation of the rope that sometimes it looks like they're doing rhythmic gymnastics. Do you know what I mean? Like the rope is leaving them, coming back to them, like it's magic. It's amazing. And I started discovering this world that I didn't even know existed, of tricks and footwork. And then all of a sudden in the last week, and if you look on my Instagram, you see this happening. And I'm like, oh, look, I can do crossovers. Look, I can do side swings. Look, I can do fancy footwork. And suddenly, this thing that I actually found really mindful and enjoyable became something even more than that. It became a little, I'm going to have to use the word obsessive, because I finished my 5,000 a day in May. I had one day off. I intended to take a week. I was so keen to start learning tricks that by Tuesday, I was back out again and I was doing all the tricks in my yard and spending just as long on this, maybe even longer than I'd been doing when I was doing the 5,000 every day.
Absolutely mad. Like the passion in your voice talking about this is absolutely, it's like infectious. And I call Zoom an emotional barrier, but right now I can feel all the excitement and this like passion for this jump rope and this this new sport that you found. But I just remember at the end of May when we were coming to the end of it, like me and Hannah just going, that's it, we've lost Maggie to the rope, we've lost her. So as you guys all know, if you're just tuning in to the podcast, me, Maggie and Hannah met through a kettlebell certification many years ago, and we've continued to stay friends and train together and do other things, which is great. But yeah, we definitely felt like we've lost you from the kettlebells, although I can see them behind you. Maggie's
the guys are still here. We're still a little gang together.
But yeah, we definitely said it. We were like, that's it, we've lost her to the rope. And I think we have. I think we have.
Honestly, it is kind of like that. So I still do train with the kettlebells, but nowhere near the sort of. I don't think I ever train the kettlebells as much time as I do the jump rope. And I think this is the difference between the two: is that I enjoy kettlebells. Don't get me wrong, I love them. I really enjoy working with them, and I enjoy it. Like, I love the certifications we've been to. I love the community around it. Like, it really did pull me in with that, and it's still there. I still really enjoy it, but there's something about the jump rope, and I think it's this other part of me that loves learning something new.
Okay.
So you can always learn something new with the kettlebells, but to a certain extent. Whereas I've now just entered this world where, I mean, it's never ending. Like, literally, it will be never ending, because I'll never reach the point of someone like Porter Ballard or Ridge Robson, and if you go and look at them, you'll understand what I mean. Or the girls, Jump Rope Sisters, who are these girls from Birmingham who are competitive jump ropers, and you know, honestly, you watch them and go, that must be impossible. So you've kind of got this whole world ahead of you where you go, well, I don't think I have enough time in my life. I'm too old. Like, honestly, like, I should have started this when I was 8. So there's not enough time in my life to reach there, but there's this whole tunnel of amazing, magical jump rope that disappears in this direction that I can do any kind of thing with. And it quickly became something to me that was that as well as the exercise. So I find it fun, and my brain enjoys and my body likes the bouncing around. It's something that releases the serotonin. It makes me happy. I just enjoy that. It's very much a me kind of thing. I love it. I'm kind of bouncy anyway, so I suppose that works. But there's this other part of me, that the learning part of me, that quickly realised there's so much to learn here. There's so much to build on, and you could go as deep as you like. So I actually started at the beginning of August. It was my little birthday treat to myself, and I just kept it going because I couldn't stop now. I'm actually getting jump rope coaching. I have a jump rope coach.
That's amazing. You have a jump rope PT. I love it.
We meet every other Friday on well, it's not on Zoom actually, it's on WhatsApp, little meeting space, and he sets me homework, and then for the rest of the week I work on my homework, and but he's also helped me understand the theory that sits beyond it and behind it.
Right.
You know, there's even a periodic table of jump rope, would you believe?
There's a what?
Yes. And the most amazing thing is that when you see it starts making sense. It's like showing you the inside science of jump rope, and you go, whoa, okay, this makes sense. And you start to understand how these combinations work and how everything comes together. And then the next little door is open, and like, you're stepping into this whole new world of down that little tunnel of jump rope to the most amazing things you see these competitive athletes doing. Do you know what I mean? But also you start watching them, and it opens your eyes to what they're doing. You go, oh, well, I know that that's an inverse crow go-go swing to toad with a wrap EB, and do you know what I mean?
I love that.
So I've gone from like looking at these crazy names of things that people do, not really knowing what it means, to going, oh, yes, it's an EB swing.
And I think the other nice thing about it is that there's another big community there as well that you've entered into, and not.
Oh no, that is maybe actually what drew me in deeper. So really quickly, I followed a couple of people. The first person was called Lauren. Lauren Jumps, she's on Instagram, and she started jumping rope in March when we locked down, and it just goes to show like how much progress you can make in it. And I think that's another thing that draws you into it, because you do make really quick progress, especially when you get obsessed with it, like we clearly did. And you scroll down to like the bottom where she started, and she's like literally jumping over a rope and hitting herself in the face with it. And now she's wanging it around. You're not sure where it's going. How did it get under there? What did it do that? Oh, that's amazing. And then because I followed her, I followed some other people, followed who is my coach now, jump rope coach Chris. That's a mouthful to say. I followed Nate KG, who is Chris's coach. This guy called Answer, who manipulates the rope around his body and away from his body like it's alive. It's just, and then from there started sort of commenting on things, and then I created my own jump rope account so I didn't bore people on Spark Fitness. No, we're not just a skipping PT studio, it's okay. So I created my own jump rope account, started posting my own things. People kind of then encourage you. There's so much encouragement. It's just amazing. And this is going to sound awful, but it's a few times and a few occasions in the world of strength on Instagram where you have posted something and someone's just come in out of the blue for no good reason and gone, you don't do it like that.
Yeah.
Like, well, what? Hello, who are you? Nice to meet you. Would you like to introduce yourself before you give me advice on what I'm doing? Which it's fine if done in the right way, but they don't do it in the right way. They go, why are you doing it like that? And it's all really accusatory, and it makes you feel a little sad, and you go, I didn't put it up here for judgment. I just put it up here because, to be a part of the community I'm trying to be a part of. Doesn't happen. Does not happen in skipping at all. Everyone is really enthusiastic, supportive. They give you tips and advice, but they ask you if you want it first. I've got a great little tip that would help you make that even easier. Would you like to know it? Yeah, I'd love to know it. Here it is. There's a way of doing something like that, isn't it? That actually is kind and respectful to the person.
Even as coaches, we see that, don't we? Like you've just mentioned about somebody coming in and it's like either a judgment or a criticism or like a competition. And I had this conversation with somebody the other day actually, and they were like, I've never really met a PT like you. And I was like, what do you mean? And I was like, because we've spoken about it before about personal training being personal, and it is. And but then so many people out there in the industry, it's competition, and it's not. There's enough people out there. There's a big wide world out there, and actually what we should be doing is supporting each other and encouraging each other. But in the fitness industry, amongst PTs, amongst instructors, it's like this competition to be the best. Well, none of us are ever going to be the best, but actually we could help other people become better. And that's what it's all about, isn't it, really? And it's really nice to hear, and it's quite refreshing to hear that you found that within this community of jump roping sport. And the people around you. And I suppose that's let's touch on the kind of like joyful side of it, because that's what this new series, or the first few episodes of this new series, is going to be. You've obviously taken a lot from it, and you can see the passion, you can hear it in your voice, and it's not just a sport for you or a community. It started off being mindful, but tell us a little bit more about what you enjoy and what that's given you.
I suppose there's so much to it that it's hard to explain in a way. In some ways it's just a feeling, and the best way to describe it is so to go back to social media, I see a lot on fitness social media of it's not about enjoying it, it's about getting it done. You just need to get it done. So I don't always feel like it, but I get it done. And I think I probably in some ways thought, there's some days when you just have to get it done. As a counter to that, the reason I find skipping, and I would describe it as so joyful, is I can honestly tell you that there isn't a single day that I have gone, well, I just need to get it done. I pick up the rope because it is going to make me feel amazing, because I feel this desire to do it, because as much as eating a cream donut with salted caramel on top of it is going to make me feel amazing, so does jumping rope. So it's not I'm doing it because I want to exercise. I'm doing it because I want to burn calories. I'm doing it because I should, because it's a healthy thing to do. I'm not doing it for any of those reasons. That doesn't even cross my mind. It's never a thing. I literally do it because I find such happiness from doing it, and if I don't do it, it makes me feel a little bit sad. And so much rope goes everywhere with me now. I honestly have a traveling rope.
Guys, I can verify that. I can verify that the rope does go everywhere. Once upon a time when we were allowed to meet, just ever so slightly, for such a small little period of time, me and Maggie did actually meet, and the rope was in her back.
It's there, it's always there. Yeah, because have rope will travel.
And a little bit easier than your kettlebell, I'm sure.
Well, it's so much easier to transport than a kettlebell, I'll be honest with you. I've often wondered how will I get the kettlebell abroad with me, although that's not ever going to be a problem in the next if that does ever become something I can do again in the future, then the jump rope fits right in a little bag, doesn't even need to go in a suitcase, just in a little handbag, just on the side of it. Even if I don't pay to take a bag, Ryanair will let me on with my jump rope.
Yay! Toothbrush, pants, jump rope.
That's all I need. That's all I need. As long as you have a toothbrush, pants, and you jump rope, you're ready to go, girl.
Right? But you touched on a really, really good and interesting point there. Because we mentioned at the beginning that exercise isn't just for burning calories. So it's nice to hear that actually, and there are so many things out there that people do for that joyfulness, for the fact that it makes you move. And I think that's really important, especially as coaches. It's our job to help people find that, isn't it? Like help people find the enjoyment in exercise, and it can be in any different format. So like you've proven over lockdown, it's now a jump rope. But like you say, it doesn't. You're not fixated on I have to do it, and self-discipline. I think self-discipline is probably one of the biggest myths out there. It's not about self-discipline. It's about finding something you enjoy, and then you become subconsciously doing it without even thinking, right?
Absolutely. It's exactly that. And the funny thing is that for me, you know, I spent a long time running, and I like running, but I don't love it. Okay. And I maybe didn't realize quite how much I don't love it until I started doing something I really truly do love doing. Yeah. I the only other time I think in my life I felt the same about a movement or form of exercise as I do about this was when I was dancing when I was younger. Dancing felt a part of me. It felt like who I am, and it probably is to such an extent. Like, anyone who knows me knows that I'll just suddenly stand and start wanging my arms and my legs around, and they're like he's dancing again. But that's just what I do. I'm not someone who stands still very easily, but if I'm moving, it's some form of. There's usually a little tune in there as well that comes out. So yeah, like that's dancing's always been a part of me, and I feel like this is that. It's just that the word is joyful. It is simply that. There's no other reason I do it. I honestly don't do it for any other reason than the fact it fills my heart with joy when I do it.
I just think that's amazing that you found that. And you've touched on dancing, and I'm pretty sure there's so many other things out there. But I think also the key point there is that you dared to try this at the beginning of lockdown as a challenge, and look where it's led you. So whilst I think consistency is something, yes, we do need to have, but actually trying something new isn't a bad thing. You don't have to just, if you found something that works for you, great. But if it's not giving you that joy, if it's not giving you that fulfillment, that wellfulness rather than wellness, because you need to be full with wellness. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's giving you more than just I'm doing this because it's making me strong, or it's like, do you know what I mean? Whatever it is, it's making me quick. All those things, there's other reasons as to why we should be moving our body, right?
Yeah, exactly, absolutely. And you know, I will always move. I'll always be someone who wants to move and wants to exercise, and I will always find enjoyment in many varieties of that. But it's for me, this is a side of that. It's a little extra addition of, okay, well, the good thing is you kind of get that as part and parcel of doing this, but I would do it anyway. If jumping rope required me to sit on my bum for an hour, I would still do it because it would be that enjoyable, just the act of doing it.
Yeah.
I think what's really important though is that sometimes, because it does require kind of going a little bit maybe outside of the norm, like skipping. When people, you know, if you say to someone, well, like, I skip, and they're like, really? Okay, that's weird. That could be a reaction, and that could stop you from doing something. even within the community, there's a bunch of us who all skip like out in the park or something like that, and people often, you know, message us and say, is it not embarrassing to people not watch you? And I'm like, yeah, people watch all the time, but I'm pretty sure they're thinking, what's that, what's some girl doing, that's pretty cool. And if they're not thinking that, I don't care because I don't know them. What difference does that make? So I do think there's an element in here of not being put off trying something because it doesn't seem like it's normal or what everyone else is doing, or it's a little bit outside of the box, or people might look at you or ask questions. I mean, yeah, they might, and that's okay, because who cares? You do you, and they'll do them, and that's all.
Yeah, I massively love that. I put a post up the other day about we don't do things conventionally over here apart from our deadlifts. How you doing over there? Because you're missing all this. We don't just follow the norm. We don't just do things like everybody else. You have to think outside the box and do your own thing. You do you. And if, like you say, if people come over and ask, or they're watching, let them. Like,
yeah, I love it when people ask.
Yeah.
Like, you know, there's been a couple of occasions when people, because even my mum said to me the other day, she was like, do people like stop? Do you get an audience in the park? And I'm like, well, not really. Mostly people just walk past and go, what's she doing? That's weird. But on the odd occasion, it's usually children. The odd occasion, they come over and go, what are you doing? I'm like, doing jumping. I'm doing tricks. Do you want to see? They're like, yeah. And then I hope maybe they went home and dug their skipping rope out their toy box and had a go.
Yeah.
But what I do know has happened from people telling me is that the people around me have started to have a go. You know, I know people who've bought skipping ropes because they've seen me have a go and they thought, oh, that looks fun, I'll have a try. And it's kind of, it's encouraged people to have a go at something maybe they hadn't considered doing before. And they might do that and then go, well, that's not for me. And that's fine.
Okay. It's okay because you've tried. You've tried, right? So I think you have to go away and try. And it doesn't mean that you have to stop, like you said at the beginning, you still do your strength training, you still do your kettlebell training. It doesn't mean you have to stop that, but it's finding that enjoyment in moving your body another way. And yeah, it's completely switching off with it. So there's a question for you. Will there now become a skipping class at Spark Fitness?
Oh God, I'd love there to be a skipping class at Spark Fitness. Do you know, the only thing stopping us doing a skipping class is the space just isn't really big enough to rotate ropes around. Just whack each other. It's good for social distancing, mind. Have a link between. Oh, funny you say that. So I'm actually injured at the moment, which is not down to
honestly, I don't know if anybody who's watching this, have a look back through Maggie's video. Honestly, you didn't even do anything.
I did nothing.
She has done the most incredible injury.
Well, so do you know, this is a warning to all of us, really. So you could say, oh, I injured myself skipping. Well, I did. I was skipping whilst I did it. But actually, you can see in the video, literally, there's nothing I did that would have caused that injury. I tell you what caused that injury. My leg cramped. Not the leg I even landed on, the leg that was in the air. It was cramped so severely, it sprains the muscle. Why did it cramp? Because I did a lot of jumping on it and not a lot of stretching.
Oh, there we go.
More stretching. So, yes. That is really what's required. So I'm already on that little train back to rehabilitating said calf. But just before that happened, I had, and just before the tear stuff, which also put a little kibosh on things, but I was planning on gathering a little group together outside and doing a little skipping meetup, but that is definitely something will happen once we're out the other side of this whole little 6 people, what can we do, what can't we do battle. I will definitely be in a park somewhere around Manchester with a rope and introducing other people into the joy of it, mainly because I just want to jump with other people. Oh, I tell you something I am doing actually on Tuesday. I'm going over to a school that my friend works in. She can't do the running club after school anymore with the kids for obvious reasons, so she's introducing a skipping club. Hey! And I'm going to go over and help her launch it.
That's amazing. Skipping club for kids. Perfect.
This is a whole generation of kids the right age to actually maybe even be those competitive superstars in the future. Can you imagine?
Oh, look what came out of lockdown, a skipping club and some skipping athletes.
I know.
That's amazing.
But the most amazing thing is that usually when you're injured, you'd have to stop doing what you're doing. I spent an hour today with my coach learning swings and go-go swings.
What's a go-go swing?
So a go-go is, so say for example, I was to cross the rope underneath my leg.
Yeah.
Okay. If I cross the rope onto my leg and then bring the arm back around in the same direction it's just come from. So to demonstrate for you here, there and then there.
Yeah.
That's a go-go.
Right.
So it's like a double cross over the leg, because I've literally crossed under my leg and then crossed my arm, same arm, back over the leg.
Okay.
Feel like a mini contortionist.
I'm not surprised.
But it's opened a whole new world of putting combinations of what I already know from jumping through the rope into swings.
That's mad.
And it's also brought together what he taught me about crosses. So he taught me a couple of weeks ago that there are 9 different types of crosses. So 10 hand placements, 9 crosses. So now we're putting the cross to the swing and understanding how that goes across and back from the body and how you put it with something else and create this combination. So it's again, it's like boo, 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 out you go with more information exploding out of Maggie's head and creating just this like, I've got so much to learn and have fun with.
You guys that are listening over audio, please do. I'm going to put this up on YouTube because you just have to see how animated and how mind blown Maggie is with this, because I'm sat here and I'm like, whoa, this is mind blowing. but you can just see like Maggie's just going, and you're isolating up and it's just like, Love it.
And the best thing is, like, I'm injured, I can still do it. What other sport can you do that in?
Well, you can't. And that's what I loved about some of the little videos I've been showing of you, is the fact that actually you're not bouncing anymore, but you're still skipping, which is just, yeah, it's that's mad. Absolutely mad. Okay, so what's the one bit of advice you would give people though, if you were to talk about a joyful exercises or joyful exercise? What's one bit of advice you would give our listeners, and how to find it?
How to find it. So it's difficult because I'm 42 years old and I've just found something that truly makes me completely joyful with it. So I suppose sometimes it finds you, maybe that's the thing. I'd say best piece of advice is don't be afraid to try something out. If you fancy having a go at it, have a go at it. You know, keep going at it maybe for a week or 2 weeks or maybe even a month if you find enjoyment within it when you start, and see where it takes you from there. And you know, don't be put off by what other people might think or what they might say, and especially don't be put off by the fact that it's a little bit different. You know, that's perfectly acceptable, that's fine. Don't be embarrassed by it, for definite, but find something that's personal to you. I think the difficulty is we sometimes look at the people around us and on our Instagrams and things like that, and we go, well, they do that, maybe I should. And I think that is further implicated by the fact that the fitness industry tells us what we should be doing. We should be doing this, we should be doing that. No, do whatever you want. And sometimes the joyful exercise, you might not even know it's exercise. You know, the number of people I found that have discovered that they love going out for a walk in their local park and probably don't count that as exercise. They're not doing it because they want to get fit or lose weight or burn calories, which is maybe how they've thought exercise is supposed to be and feel. They're doing it because they find the enjoyment of being mindful and fresh air and getting the kids out the house or having a moment to themselves, or do you know what I mean? So, you know, don't be pigeonholed by whether something is doing something for you in inverted commas. Gardening, you know, people find joy in that. That's joyful exercise. I mean, I can't think of anything worse, but and I'd say as well, if you are going to do something that is quite repetitive, like if you find joy in running or you find joy in skipping, something like that, the one thing I would say is don't do what we did. Don't do something for 31 days until your body's used to doing that. my advice always for people starting out with jump rope is, first of all, don't jump for that long. Because your joints will thank you for it. Jump with shoes on. That's how I initially hurt my foot. I didn't. Jump on a mat with shoes on, even better, because it'll also protect the rope, but it also protects your joints. And just build up gradually, because it's fun. It can be very easy to go all in all of a sudden, and then your body will tell you how much it hates you for that. So go in gradually.
Yeah, definitely vouch for the shoes, non-shoes, toe situation. And things. Yes. Amazing. It's been absolutely amazing talking to you and hearing the joy and the excitement and just everything in your voice about jump rope skipping. And what's come out of lockdown for you. I think it's absolutely incredible. I'm going to finish up and ask you, because I'm sure I asked you right at the beginning of the first series, but I reckon it might have changed now. So 3 people, dead or alive, that you would like to train with, and what exercises would you do with those 3 people?
Oh my goodness, this is on the spot. Well, they're all going to be from jump rope.
I thought so. And I don't know whether I'm sure we've asked this question to you before. Right at the very beginning. Yeah. So it'd be interesting for you listeners to see if you remember what Maggie said last time, and we might actually just have to recap and find it.
Actually, might not all be from jump rope. Okay, so first one would be, so she's called Alicia Matson, and she's Alicia Jump Rope on Instagram. So there's 2 reasons why I want to go and meet this girl. Right? 1, she jumps in the mountains of Colorado.
Wow.
Tick. 2, she's so lovely. She's so lovely. I mean, just, some people are just so lovely. She's so lovely. And she has really just, you watch her jumping, and even in the space of like the last month, just how much she's come on with that. But it's, just watch the joy in her when she does it. Like, she is loving it. I'm honestly loving it. Sometimes my face shows pure concentration. I've never seen that in hers. She's just smiling all the time. She's, it's amazing. So I'd like to meet her and jump with her in Colorado. We need to go there.
Okay.
Or San Francisco. She's been there jumping as well. Seattle. She's got some really good jumping locations.
Yeah.
I'm all over it. Yeah. That would be good. The second person I think I would want to meet and train with would be, so this is kind of a personal one. So in the whole Instagram community, we've been talking to people. There's this lovely lady called Tanya who's in France, and I feel like at any other time I'd just gone and met her and we'd have jumped together by now. And I love chatting with her on Instagram and just sort of sharing what we're doing and everything. And I would just really love to meet her, because I feel like she's a friend on Instagram, and you kind of want to meet your friend in person.
That's what social media is for, isn't it? To be social.
Totally, exactly.
Okay, yeah. And number 3?
And number 3, you see, so I have so many people I want to choose. I feel like I shouldn't choose jump ropey people. And then so right now, I'd really just like to take a rope down to Manchester Town Hall and grab Andy Burnham and give him a big hug that I'm not allowed to do and jump with him, because actually for me right now, he's doing so much for people in Manchester and also the North in general, just to kind of try and look after us. And that's a lot of political divide in that, but for me, and I think for a lot of us that live up here, he's a really super important person to us right now. So right in this moment in time, I take my rope down to him and I do a little double jump rope with Andy and just say, thank you, Andy. You are amazing. Share this joyful exercise with me right now.
I can actually see you doing that. Please, when the restrictions lift a little bit, please can you go and do that on video and tag us all in, because that would be amazing.
A tiny circle with that would be really cool.
That's absolutely amazing. Tell the lovely listeners and viewers where they can find you and follow your amazing journey on this joyful exercise.
So my jump rope journey is on a very specific account called Jump with Maggie. all obviously one word being on Instagram. And there you will find hundreds and hundreds of videos of me jumping or not jumping, but doing something with a rope. And I'm also on Spark Fitness Coaching, where you will see the gorgeous girl who's on our wall right now. And that's the same on Facebook. My jumping's not on Facebook. It feels more of an Instagram place to live. So.
And you have online classes if anybody's looking to join in as well, don't you?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we've taken our kettlebell club online, which is fab. It's exactly the same community, but opened up to a wider audience, which I absolutely love. So we've got people now joining us in Bradford and Buckinghamshire, and it's amazing. So, you can find out more about that at Spark Fitness Coaching.
So, if you're new or not new to kettlebells and you want to join Maggie and potentially find joyfulness like she has in jump rope in kettlebells, then check her out. Thank you ever so much for joining me today. It's been fabulous as always. It's always a pleasure. I'm literally feel warm and buzzing inside from and I don't normally get this over Zoom. It's like an emotional barrier normally. But yeah, your energy is just amazing. So thank you very much for joining us, and thank you everybody for listening, and we will be back soon. In fact, me and Maggie will be joined from another lady in the community of jump rope, has agreed to come and talk to us also, so that's very exciting. So that's coming up, and we've also got some other lovely I think mainly females actually at the moment, but we should probably look to get some male guests on as well in terms of joyful exercise. So keep listening. Thank you very much for supporting us, and we will speak to you all soon. Cheers. Bye.